Well, the 2025 NFL Draft is over. That means UDFA has officially been signed to the Patriots roster. I'm going to quickly go through all 19 UDFA signings that Mike Vrabel did conduct between yesterday and today, and then I'll break down each player individually right here on Patriots Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Allie Barefoot. Let's start off here with Cam Riley, UDFA number 1, the linebacker out of FSU. Brandon Crossley, DeMeer Blankumsee, I think that's how I'm going to pronounce that one. Lan Larison as well, picked up another running back in the UDFA pool. Efton Chism, actually have a lot to talk about here on Efton Chism towards the middle of the show. Jeremiah Webb, another wide receiver. Ben Wooldridge, another quarterback to add to the room of Josh Dobbs and Drake May. We did not draft a quarterback this year, so maybe Ben Wooldridge will end up being our quarterback 3. CJ Dippre is how I'm going to go with that. Once again, didn't draft a tight end, picked him up here in the UDFAs. Elijah Ponder, Brock Lampe, Jordan Polk. I don't believe any relation to Jalen Polk, the wide receiver. Cole Birdow, G. Scott, Jack Conley, Josh Minkins, Wilfred Penne, Hector Johnson, Dwayne Martin, and Bryce Ganius. We are still possibly have one slot open left for New England to sign pick number 20 with their UDFA selection. So we're going to break down each individual signee here on today's show. But right off the bat, I'm just going to ask you guys to grade the Patriots UDFAs just blindly. I know you probably don't know a lot about these guys, and well, we may not know a lot about them come October. A lot of them do unfortunately end up getting cut. But A, B, C, D, or F. Right off the bat, I'm just going to go with A. I know there's a lot of teams out there that haven't finished their UDFA signings, and Mike Vrabel is just knocking things down off his checklist. I'm going to give it an A. We're going to break down and see how these players actually fit with New England. But overall, not a bad start to have 19 guys that the Patriots can possibly start to work with here. And we also do know that in the past, the Patriots have notoriously had a lot of success here with UDFAs. You know, that's how we found Del Pettis last year. We ended up making the 53-man roster. As you guys know, David Andrews is another player that obviously had great success in New England. He was also a UDFA. So just because they were not drafted doesn't mean they can't have an impact on New England later this year. And I want to make a note here. I'm not going to go into the minicamp invites, but the Patriots have extended multiple mini-camp invites to several different players that possibly could fill in that last spot on the Patriots UDFA signing. So keep in mind that while this list is what I'm talking about today, it might not be the final list. And especially with a guy like Mike Vrabel, I mean, he's probably going to add several more players just knowing how much he has done in free agency, in the draft, and now in UDFA. So let's go ahead and break down signing number 1. This is going to be the linebacker from Florida State, talking about Cam Riley. Had a lot of success in Florida State while he was a top tackler for the team here, and I'll give you guys a little bit more insight as to who Cam Riley is. But 47 tackles, that was actually the 4th in tackles for Florida State, and he had a season-high 10 tackles against Boston College. So just really looking for a headhunter here, always down to add a little bit more depth here to the linebacker room, because of how many injuries we did deal with last year as well, but got good frame, almost 6'4", 230 pounds, so could be a good addition down the line. Another defensive player here, Brandon Crossley, the cornerback, not far from where Chat Sports office is at SMU. Little bit more here about the cornerback that would probably just be more of a depth piece along the line for a guy like Christian Gonzalez, Alex Austin. But he's actually from Dallas, Texas. So hometown kid, went to SMU, lives in Dallas, Texas. New England's going to be a bit of a shock in terms of weather, but 5'10", 186 pounds, 35 tackles, 1 interception. But I do really like the pass breakup as well. And knowing that he earned all ACC honorable mention honors, he's also got some kickoff experience. So if the Pats do possibly want to add him later on to the special teams, could be another move that New England could make. A wide receiver out of Memphis, DeMeer Blankumsee. That is how I'm going to say his pronunciation here. I know that may not 110 be correct, but another wide receiver to the depth chart. There's going to be a lot of competition to watch here early in training camp with how many wide receivers we have signed. Cincinnati, Ohio is his hometown, 5'10", 192 pounds. 45 receptions, 677 yards as well. And he did catch 45 passes. He's had 53 receptions, 901 yards, and 7 touchdowns the year prior to 2024 in Memphis. So clearly a very productive player. Going to be very interesting to see how the Patriots do end up kind of working him into the quarterback room that already has a lot of competition in it. And also another position that has a lot of competition is the running back. After we signed Travion Henderson, we still have Antonio Gibson. We still have Ramondre Stevenson, but they decided to pick up Lan Larison, the running back out of UC Davis. Not a bad move at all. I think you can definitely add a little bit more to their running back room here. 284 carries for almost 1,500 yards. Absolutely, I want to see what this kid is able to do. We actually do have a scouting report here on Lan Larison. Pretty surprised with the running back ranking 22 and overall 200, knowing there's 257 draft picks. I'm surprised he went to the UDFAs. Handled a huge workload last season on the ground and through the air. Great in the pass protection and also offers some return ability. Also something to mention here, facing a big jump in competition in the NFL. Obviously, even with players like Ramondre Stevenson and Antonio Gibson, there is going to be some, and Travion Henderson now, there's definitely going to be some competition, but very intrigued to see what Lan Larison is going to be able to do. He's definitely going to have a chip on his shoulder from being an undrafted free agent. That's only 4. We do still have about 15 more UDFAs to get to, but before I do that, let me go ahead and tell you guys real quick about our sponsor on today's show, and that is going to be GameTime. If you guys want to go check out the Patriots later this season, the Boston Celtics, Boston Red Sox, Boston Bruins right now, then go on ahead and download the GameTime app. You guys are going to be able to get lowest price guaranteed. Not to mention, you can save up to 60% off last-minute tickets for sporting events, concerts, comedy shows, maybe even the theater as well. I love GameTime. I love the fact that I can get a view from my seat in the app before I buy. That way, I'm 110% sure this is where I want to spend my money. So if you guys want to go on ahead and download the GameTime app, use promo code CHATSPORTS. That'll give you guys $20 off your first time buying tickets while terms do apply. Again, download the GameTime app. Use promo code CHATSPORTS. That'll give you guys $20 off first time buying tickets while terms do apply. Download the GameTime app today because what time is it? Well, it's game time. Efton Chism, the third, is going to be the next wide receiver that the Patriots did lay their eyes on here in the UDFA process. I really like Chism. There's a lot of hype around this kid, especially as a top UDFA agent. He just absolutely lit it up at the Shrine Bowl. He's been underrated throughout the entire draft process. I'm very excited the Patriots are going to give him an opportunity. He had a very short shuttle, 4.06, would have been ranked 4th among all combine participants. So he's very, very quick. He's going to have definitely some opportunity here to showcase some of that speed, and I think he had a really good day doing the drills at his pro day as well. So I'm very intrigued to see how he's going to fit in here with, once again, a very, very competitive wide receiver room. But, hey, it's a problem I am happy the Patriots have. And another wide receiver out of South Alabama, Jeremiah Webb. I'll tell you what, the Patriots said we need offensive tackle and we need wide receivers, and they absolutely nailed both positions here. Jeremiah Webb, 5'11 and a half, 200 pounds, 36 receptions, 649 yards here in 2022. Also a little surprised that Jeremiah Webb ended up being undrafted, but he had a private workout with the Patriots during pre-draft process, so they've had their eyes on this kid for quite some time, but maybe just didn't want to use one of their draft picks on him. Ben Wooldridge. This may possibly be our quarterback 3, which is a good opportunity to have. You've got Josh Dobbs. You have the veteran experience. You've obviously got Drake May, so why not add a rookie in there and maybe give him some reps as well? A guy like Wooldridge, 6'2", got great height, 215 pounds, 66% completion percentage, 2,500 yards. And I do think the Patriots needed to pick up a quarterback, but I'm glad they didn't waste a pick on it. Here in Sunbelt, Offensive Player of the Year award as well. So obviously he's got some skills that are being recognized. Just maybe has a little tougher competition. CJ Dippre is going to be our next pick here. Tight end from Alabama. Once again, Patriots did not select a tight end, so I'm glad they added a little bit here to the room to kind of try and figure out, where they sit with their Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper, and of course, Jaheim Bell as well. As you guys can see here, 21 receptions, 256 yards. I do think that adding a tight end is a good move, just, based on injuries or what happens, but he's possibly one of the best available undrafted free agents at the tight end position. He was projected to be a 5th or 6th round. Great athlete, does really well lining up in the line, also has a lot of special teams experience. So it's good to know that New England, once again, is snagging great players here while possibly not giving up some of their well-earned draft picks here. So I think that it's going to be good to have them possibly showcasing some of these skills later on here in training camp, which actually is not that far away. Go on ahead and let me know your favorite UDA signing by the Patriots here so far. Obviously, there is still plenty more to go, but go on ahead and drop your favorite UDFA signings while I bring up our next player. I'm sorry I'm flying through these guys right now, but when you have almost 20 picks, I don't want to make this video 19 years long. Elijah Ponder, the edge from Cal Poly. Once again, edge to another position that Patriots needed to bulk up in the draft, which they did, but they also added a little bit more here, just a little extra precautionary in free agency. 41 tackles, 12 and a half TFLs. I don't know how a guy with 7 sacks actually does go undrafted, but he was considered one of the top UDFAs on the market, a projected 7th round pick, an absolute standout pass rusher for Cal Poly. So I could see this name being repeated several times once training camp does hit. So this is definitely a guy you're going to want to keep an eye on. Brock Lampe, the running back in Northern Illinois. To add another running back, it makes me feel like one of these guys is probably going to get the scissors at some point and unfortunately be cut, but that's going to be fun to watch. Who's going to be the running back that stays? 7 carries, 14 yards, 1 touchdown. Well, I'm just going to go on ahead here and say he's probably going to be the one that gets cut, unfortunately. But, that is kind of how this stuff does go. But it's kind of cool to see another running back getting drafted here to bulk up that chart. Jordan Polk, the safety out of Texas State. I'm glad they added a little bit more to the safety room. I know they did draft Craig Woodson, but with 2 older guys in Jabril Peppers and Kyle Duggar, you can never be too safe here. 68 tackles, 2 pass breakups. Clearly a UDFA target. Not enough, I don't think, on his film to become a draftee, but Polk was also, he earned all Sun Belt honorable mention honors, so definitely has a lot of experience, probably still untapped, but does have a long way to go here, especially as an undrafted free agent. Cole Birdow, the offensive tackle out of Merrimack as well. I don't care if all 19 UDFAs end up being offensive tackles. We definitely need to get that position rolling. 2 sacks allowed, 67 PFF overall grade. Not too high, but still probably higher than Verdarian Lowe's last season. A guy like Birdow, he's got a lot to prove here still, but I do see a little bit of potential. He was a participant in the Patriots local pro day this offseason, so it sounds like he is more of just he clearly impressed at the local pro day, and the Patriots want to see just, what exactly he has left in his bag. G. Scott Jr., tight end out of Ohio State, the second tight end that the Patriots did ultimately try and sign here instead of drafting. From Seattle, Washington, 27 receptions, 253 yards as well. A guy like G. Scott, he caught 4 passes for 30 yards in Ohio State's college football playoff seminal win over Texas. I know that Josh McDaniels really likes his tight ends there and likes to run that tight end stack, so I think it'd be great to see what he's able to do here as training camp starts to roll around. We did draft a guard. We drafted Jared Wilson out of Georgia, but they ended up signing Jack Conley, the guard out of Boston College. Once again, another local guy here, very used to the weather too, which does help. Jack Conley, 12 games played, 59.3 overall PFF grade. Not a great PFF grade. I don't know how much you guys take the PFF grades to heart, but a guy like Jack Conley, he's versatile. He has a lot of versatility. He plays right tackle, right guard, left tackle for Bill O'Brien over there at Boston College. He's also a hoss, 6'7", 325 pounds. So I think the Patriots probably really like that you can kind of move him all over. Josh Minkins, the safety out of Cincinnati. Once again, Patriots did draft a safety in Craig Woodson, but they ended up pairing on another one. 45 tackles, 6 pass breakups from Louisville. 6'1", got a lot of height on him. I do like that about him. But a guy like Josh Minkins, he had played at Louisville and then Cincinnati during his college career. But I think really here they're just trying to add a couple more depth chart pieces to that safety room. I could see this guy possibly being a cut candidate later on down the road, but definitely intrigued to see what he is able to bring here to the Patriots as they do start to bulk up that room especially. How many UDFAs make the Patriots roster this year? I've already named a couple of guys that I probably could see getting the cut here as we start to move forward in the offseason. So go on ahead and let me know in the comment section down below. I mean, obviously last year, Del Pettis was a big pickup for the Patriots, so there's always that one guy that you're glad the Patriots stuck with. And I do think out of this UDFA class, sounds like they got a lot of top targets, so it definitely could be intriguing to see how many players they end up keeping as we start to move forward. Wilfried Penne, defensive tackle out of Virginia Tech, my parents' alma mater. But a little bit here about Wilfried once I am able to get all my graphics here in order. There he is. He's from France. That's awesome. 6'1", 280 pounds, 33 tackles as well. He could be moved the defensive end with the Patriots, so definitely more of a versatile player here. Patriots are just trying to see how many players they can fit to bulk up, not just one position, but multiple positions as well. Hector Johnson, another edge from Endicott. I do think that this is just another move that probably ends up being a cut piece, but knowing he's got some versatility in his pocket always does make him more of an attractive target to New England. 49 tackles, 6 sacks. He's from Worcester, Massachusetts as well, so another local guy. I like they're actually signing a lot of players from the New England area. Last season, he made 37 tackles, 10.5 for loss, and 5 sacks. Had a great career at Endicott. He earned 2 Defensive Player of the Year and Defensive Lineman of the Year awards. So clearly, that kind of resume is going to attract a guy like Mike Vrabel. Dwayne Martin, the tight end out of Louisville. That's the 3rd tight end the Patriots had picked up in the UDFAs. Very intrigued to see which one they keep and which one they do ultimately end up cutting. 6'1", 270 pounds. Clearly not too much here on his resume. He ran the ball 3 times for 16 yards with a touchdown. So, he could be more of a halfback, fullback type of situation. If Mike Vrabel does decide to keep him, clearly he is still looking for that fullback position. He said so in his introductory press conference. So that could be something to watch there. Bryce Ganius will be the last UDFA signing I talk about here. Defensive tackle from Wake Forest. A lot of defensive signings here so far, but a guy like Mr. Ganius, 26 tackles, 5 tackles for a loss. He started 8 games for Wake Forest last season, a transfer from Villanova. And this is another fullback to watch out for. Another defensive tackle that took part in their rookie minicamp. So could be a possible, maybe it ends up being a cut. But overall, I do think that adding another defensive tackle is never an issue when it comes to the Patriots and how many injuries that they had last year. So overall, 19 UDFA signings. They had 11 offensive signings, 8 defensive signings, which I'm actually kind of glad they went more offensive here because they offensively drafted very well. They didn't sign as many offensive guys in free agency, but obviously the offensive players that they did were stellar signings. And then they added 8 more guys in the UDFA department. So overall, I think New England is absolutely crushing the free agency pool, the draft, and now, of course, with the UDFAs as well. So I will keep you guys updated as we move forward with the offseason about who stays, who's gone, and who they possibly also try to work out here in their minicamp moving forward. If you guys made it to the end of the video, obviously you like something, so be sure to hit that sub button for me on Patriots Today by Chat Sports.